Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us on the show this morning. Well, it's still the beginning of a brand new year and a perfect time to strategize for that business of yours so that you can have wonderful sales. I mean, after all, the essence of every business is profit making. So today I have the privilege of interacting with a very wise business consultant and communicator. He will help me to x-ray how you can develop incredible sales initiatives in this year 2025. Please let's welcome Mr. Daniel Lama Kasim. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Neka.
Welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
All right, first of all, let us start this way. When we talk about sales initiatives, as it has to do with marketing, what are we referring to?
All right, sales initiative. Let me start off with sales. What sales really entails? We all know sales to be the exchange of goods and
Services.
services, usually, of course, and that starts by you proposing or persuading your potential
Absolutely.
client about your values, your services and benefits. Now it's not all left for your clients now to buy in. But when we're talking about strategy is something that has to do with direction, okay? And initiative talks about action plan. So when we talk about sales strategy initiative, we're talking about those action with direction, those direction action plans that gives our sales a boost in 2025. It's not just enough for you to just have a particular path or strategies, but it should be a calculated an action that can give you the hallmark of sales, which is meeting your target sales.
Right. What are some of the processes that should involve while trying to develop a sales initiative strategically for different businesses? What are some of the processes that should guide one?
Okay, one of the things is you must identify your customer needs. One of the strategy is not enough. You have a business, your customers' needs should be priority.
Okay.
We have a market so saturated with a lot of products. People are not much more concerned about what the customers need, but are much more considering what profit can I make. Because at the end of the day, value is what money answers to. Money don't answers to names, yes. Money don't answers to brand, it does sometimes. But the one basic hallmark that money answers to is value. So one of the
Value.
basic things you might want to consider in 2025 is not just to be chasing cloud of money. All right. Value is one thing. When you are so valuable at what you do, money will come after you. So that is one of the first thing I think it's very important to take note of. And the second thing I want to make mention of is presenting solutions because it's not enough for you to be in business. You must be a solution provider.
Okay.
Yes, we have a lot of businesses thriving all in the name of making money, but they are not really targeting what people need, which is happens to be the value now. Still talking about the value. But the second thing now is you must be a solution provider. So your services must be tailored in a way that answers the need of your clients. They will then come for you.
The business world is very saturated,
True.
and I presume that developing sales initiatives should differ from product to product, from industry to industry. Can we look at some of those differences that different entrepreneurs should have in mind?
Okay, when we talk now, let's talk about the key strategies that we might want to consider when it comes to building these strategies. Now, one of the first thing is I believe every business should have a minimum of 7 strategies. There are a lot of tons of strategies that you can be able to involve in when it comes to building your brand. But one of the things you might want to consider in this year 2025 is know your customers.
Okay.
Know your customers. A lot of people truly there is a gap between the goods or services and the end users, which happens to be the customers. But you see, this year, one of the things, even as a businessman, I I made it a point of my duty to be more intentional, pay attention to my customers, my clients. What exactly do they want? What's their pain points? What's their gain point? All of these are the things I thought for once will be very important. Now, the second thing I also want to talk about is value proposition. While building those strategies, value proposition have to be in place. What does my customer stand to gain? All right. What does my customer stand to gain? How will I be able? Because we are living in a competitive world right now.
Yes.
The competition is very, very high. We have various brands, even in all sector. So you really need to stand out in this very season. Standing out, offering quality values and whatnot.
Talking about different brands everywhere, that brings me to brand identity.
Mm,
There are so many different diverse products in the market. Like, for instance, if I wanted to buy a detergent, I have an array of brands to choose from.
mm,
Same goes to cosmetics
sure.
and hair and wears. How, as an entrepreneur, how am I supposed to keep my brand identity unique to myself, and making sure that I sustain that quality that my customers know me for over the years?
I give you an instance. Nestle company is one I know, of course, the millennials and the other generations will definitely know that it has come a long way
Since we were babies.
since when we were babies. And up to today, we can't just get enough of this very one brand. What really have been their secret? Now, when it comes to sales, there is we are living in a fast evolving world. And it's very important for you as a salesperson, as a businessman, to get to terms with real times. Time is shifting, we are transitioning. It is very risky for a salesperson, a CEO, a businessman, or whatever you do, for you to be left back
Mm.
when time is ahead. So you might want to catch up with real time strategies. We have a whole lot of them. AI is here, all right? Building machines, all sort of things are here to assist and help businesses grow. So one of the things when it comes to branding is that look out for the your target audience, the category of people you're dealing with. Where are they at this very dispensation? And curate policies, curate product and services that aligns with their needs and offer it to them. And they will definitely appreciate it.
Mm.
Nestle have transitioned from one level to another. You could, if you talk about Golden Morn, of course, for the babies now, they love it so well. Maggie seasoning cubes, of course, they are product of Nestle and countable others. Dangote is one person that is also emulating such when it comes to branding in alignment with real times now. Dangote has started from various, and he's one household producer that we can talk on right now, that he has also been following that consistency, that record of rebranding and branding. So branding is not a one size fits all thing. It is something that have to be put in check and in place from time to time through research and development. You research what the real time is and you develop and curate solutions in line with real times.
Interesting. The COVID, let me take us a little bit back. The
Mm,
COVID-19 era opened us up to a whole new type of marketing strategies. People now stay in the comfort of their homes,
mm.
and on their WhatsApp, on their pages, Facebook pages, and Instagram, and what have you. And they're raking these sales. And all. Talk to me about the advent of technology
All right.
to, I mean, I know the young people want to hear about this.
Absolutely. Whether we like it or not, we are living in a fast
Paste.
developing pace technology world right now. Business have moved from the conventional to technology. So it's very important for business owners, for sales representatives, for CEOs, as far as you're a brand, to also pay attention to the social media. LinkedIn, for instance.
Mm.
LinkedIn is one professional body that also houses professionals in doing business. But I think for one, it's more like LinkedIn have been underutilized in Nigeria. Because when I go to LinkedIn, I see what I'm seeing is not as expected. But let me give an instance. Facebook, when it comes to business, I see it as if it's only entertainment that thrive more. My business also thrive more
Mm.
on Facebook. But when given an instance of, let's say, priority or vastness, Facebook is having more shift when it comes to the entertainment order. And I kept asking myself question now, okay, what happened to other brand? Is it that there is a mental shift that people are
Entertainment
so
and fashion.
fashion? Yeah, you understand all that now. So, but I feel social media is one vital tool every organization must leverage on to grow. There are several sales tools you can use. There are platforms you can use to be able to Jumia, for instance. Jumia, these guys have so mastered and craft the art of social media. And today you can definitely see them utilizing that. We have a whole lot of firms. And even in my company also, we so maximize social media. For instance, our head office is in Lagos. And our client base are gotten from that end there. They make their supplies, their orders, they place their orders, and it's being distributed nationwide to our various agents across Nigeria, including Abuja. So you see, if we would definitely want to hold back to the conventional, we would definitely go far. But today we can see that in Abuja, we can have tons of requests and orders in a day that the normal conventional won't give us. But one of the things, let me just take it also a little bit step. Social media is not here to also um, make us to fold our hands. It should make us work better. Because one of the things that social media does is that it's okay for people to know your brand, but let your quality and value also keep you there. For instance, I want to talk about referrals now
Okay.
when it comes to customer services now.
Yes.
My company, our company right now, we have customers that place order online or the request for our services online, and some might just get referred because of the quality of service they enjoyed from from our brand. They just felt, okay, you know what? I know about these guys in town. They do this, they do this. How about you give them a trial? We didn't get to the entail there, but we were able to communicate to some set of people. Now they were satisfied with our services, heading on to other people, referring us. And I can tell you that major chunk of our sales have been from referrals, not even from our server to say.
Fresh customers.
Yes, yes.
Wow, that's interesting. A very interesting discourse here on the program this morning. We will take a short break, and when we come back, there's a whole lot more to learn from. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. It's still Good Morning Abuja, and we're talking about how to develop strategic business initiatives for the new year. Mr. Daniel, I know that there are challenges that may come up from entrepreneur to entrepreneur when it comes to developing and sustaining a strategic sales initiative. Talk to me about some of these challenges.
All right. Thank you so much, Neka, once again. Whether we like it or not, of course, there have to be challenges in everything you do. And it's all up for you to brace up your game and face the challenges right now. One of the things I tend to see is rejection and objection. Rejection and objection is one thing most people might think as, but it's a normal thing when it comes to business. I have been to spaces that they say, yo, man, I'm interested in this. But one of the things I so much learned about it is I love Brian Tracy very well when it comes to sales. Brian Tracy influences my sales skills development so very well. And he spoke about something in one of his books. He said rejection isn't the fact that you are not offering value. It's just that they are not yet enlightened to see what you have to offer them. So rejection is one thing, but I don't think it should be a big deal. It should be part of business. It should be part of sales because you can't just believe everyone to keep telling you yes, 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 yes. Of course, great businesses are known by no, 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 no. Thomas Edison, yes, sure. He is one person that embodied resilience amidst rejection. So if you must thrive in 2025 in business, you must sustain this resilience
Okay.
to combat rejection and objection because the competition is high, right? So while you try to put your A game, just have this this antibody against
Okay.
rejection because it will definitely come. But amidst that, keep pushing. And one of the things I also tend to see here is limited resources.
Okay.
A lot of businesses have been, and I want to tell all these limited resources to maybe two ways. One, from the side of small businesses venturing into business in Nigeria, you all know it's no joke. It's really a challenging one because you really need more than enough to start up a business in Nigeria now, considering inflation, naira devaluation. It brought a whole lot of things into the circle. So the cost of rice, everything is high right now. So this is also one thing that also I see it as a challenge, limited resources. And another thing I also see on that on this very axis is honestly there are some. I want to say policies, some government policies to say. I don't know how this might sound, but let's talk about some, let's say, taxations.
Okay.
Yes, there are some tax, some businesses, honestly, that the tax being leveled on them, it's quite so frustrating
Enormous.
and suffocating. So they struggle to survive. So, but in this very particular year, one of the things I should, or everyone listening right now, to do is to also diversify means of strengthening its resources base. That is one thing. So, another challenge that I might want to also look in is clear goals actualization now.
Okay.
Yes,
Clarity.
clarity,
Okay.
clarity. Because you see, major businesses we are having right now, honestly, they don't have a very there are no clear goals that support those systems now. Let me say vision-driven goals. So all of what the business is all about is they just think about the now. So they don't even make plans and arrangement for okay, what happens in the next 10 to 15 years. So measures have to be put in place to be able to curtail such seasons because businesses must face challenges, whether you like it or not. But one of the things you should do is put measures in place to be able to curtail, to give you that fallback should in case. Let's use for instance now. Let me say I am a member of the Toastmasters International. All right, yes. Toastmasters have been in existence for over 100 years, and I'm still counting. The founder of Toastmaster, Ralph Smedley, is no more alive. He died 1957 or
Wow.
1959
A long
thereabout.
time.
But because of his quality, clear, vision-driven goal, it was actually a vision,
Long
a
term.
long term, something that has even outlived him. And Toastmasters is becoming even more stronger as the day goes by, even without the presence of the business owner. So a lot of businesses are not looking at the bigger board. We tend to just settle for the now and how it can just sort out the now. And that's why a whole lot of businesses get, they don't live to outlive the owner. They get to outlive the owner.
Interesting.
Mm.
I mean, it's a new year, and I'm absolutely hoping that new businesses will, be floated
Okay.
and thrive.
Mhm.
Because for someone wanting to break into an already saturated market with their own idea,
Mm.
and they need a very strategic initiatives, for sales and marketing, what should they consider? What should they
Stay
put in place?
stay up to date with industry trends. Yes. If you must get in, you must have to stay up to date with industry trends because a whole lot happen. How would you get into a market you don't know anything about? You have to do your homework, you have to do a background check, you have to be sure of what you have to really research what's going on in the market before you can pitch your tent in there. So that you shouldn't just be as you're just sitting on a gunpowder. Yes. So you have to stay with real time industry trends as far as it's concerned. Build your tent, curate, look at, because one of the things I so much, I'm a student of mentorship. I love mentorship so well.
Okay.
And I so much learn from people. I love to learn from people's experiences, people's mistakes, and whatever to be able to make myself better. So there are a lot of businesses that are in extinction as we speak right now because they couldn't match up with trend, they couldn't match up with policies, they couldn't match up with financial demand, match up with organization, management, and other things like that. So, but if you must have a sense of understudying other existing businesses within your niche.
Okay.
Get that straight. Get to know what keep them relevant, what they do, how they started, and also you can start from that very particular point. I think that is one thing. And once you're doing that, do not, and there is also this sense of competitiveness. It's good to compete to have a sense of inspiration, but it shouldn't be for competitive. For instance, it's going to be a suicidal mission for me to want to start up a business and I'm comparing myself with Dangote business. It's actually not working. So
Suicidal.
if you must have a great start for you, number one, keep to pace with the industry trends at the moment. Get to study the terrain and also don't get scared. Start.
Finally, because of want of time, what will be your final pattern words and advice to would be um, people who in sales initiatives and marketing for the new year?
Marketing, sales, business. I love sales very well. Let me just part with this very story. I've been in sales for a very long time, right there for the days of my late grandfather. He happens to be a great businessman. So I used to he's a great farmer. He farms this garden egg very, very well. So I do take it to the market to start. So I was exposed to the market space at a very,
Early
very
age.
early age. But one of the things I must say, if as my final word is your mission and vision is all you need to keep you running. What do you see? Because whether you like it or not, business is the gold mine of the 21st
You
century.
can say that over again.
Yes. So enough of you. It's good to get a white collar job. It's good to, but you should think because when you think of business, business affords you a transgenerational sustenance. It's something that your children, your children's children will benefit from, and it also affords you luxury
Hmm.
of of time of initiative so my major takeaway is curate a vision and a mission that is centered around solving people's need. Solve, give them solution, and you will definitely stay relevant in market as long as you want.
Well, I must thank you so much for coming and speaking with us today on the show. It's been very insightful
Thank
talking
you.
with you. Thank you so much. Well, what more can I say there? He said it all. There's a whole lot of money to be made for the year 2025, but it all begins with having strategic initiatives for your sales and, of course, marketing. It's still Good Morning Abuja. We have another interesting discussion coming your way shortly after the break. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us on Good Morning Abuja. Right about now, we're going to have a discussion tailored around the business of food vending, online food vending as a lucrative business. That's what our next discussion is going to be all about. I've been joined on the set by a seasoned chef and an online food vendor herself. Let's welcome my guest, Benedicta Nguamo Emmanuel. Hello.
Hello,
Good
thank
morning to you.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
It's nice to have you here.
Yeah, same here. Nice to be here.
First of all, tell me, how did you develop the interest of becoming a chef, a professional chef for business in the first place?
All right. First of all, food business has not really been something that I would say I loved to do. But along the way, I developed a passion for it and I got into it. I started specifically in school because of the nature of course I studied. I was around medical students who would rather buy food
Then
than
cook.
make food. So it was really, really a point of sale for me. And that was how I began. I started with soup bowls, stew bowls, and all of that. I would just do that and sometimes just get as little as 1,000 naira as gain. But subsequently, after school, it was something I really loved and I really wanted to get into properly and fully. So after school, I waited a year, about a year before my national youth service, and within that time frame, I did a lot of findings, did a lot of business research around the food business, and that was how I started. And it's been good. It's been really, really good. I
Would you
thank
say
God.
it's been rewarding so far?
Yes,
Fulfilling?
especially doing it online, it has really been rewarding for me and is something that I believe that every person who has a passion to get into the food business can start off first as an online food business vendor before getting into or starting a walk-in restaurant. I think it's better to start as an online food vendor.
As a food vendor, online food vendor, what are some of the basic things that you have to consider? What are the things you considered, before actually expanding your scope to become an online food vendor, what are the first basic things you took into consideration?
Okay. First of all, of course, there is no business that you can actually start without capital. So
True.
first thing to consider is the finances, right? And especially for the economy right now, I believe that finances should be a major point of focus if you're going to start any kind of business, not just food business. So you should consider your finances. You should consider how big you want your business to be. You should consider what your scope of reach is, right? So, first of all, consider your finances. And then, second most important thing to consider is your target audience.
Okay.
So, what kind of persons do you want to cook for? Do you have dreams of cooking for the president one day?
Okay.
And if you are going to cook for the president, you should consider his age, what kind of dietary plan would be okay and healthy for somebody like president. For me, I have big dreams, so
It's good to dream big.
I mentioned the president first. But really, you should look at your target audience. Are you going to reach out to students? Are you going to cook for students? Are you going to cook for business people? I mean, working class, 9 to 5 persons, because most of them don't really have that time they require to. You go to work, imagine for, okay, this is Abuja, of course, and we don't have some of those issues here, but imagine for someone staying in Lagos, for example. You get up from bed at least 4 a.m., 3 a.m. I had some 3 a.m. and you get to work and you're closing to come back. You're closing by 5 p.m. Sometimes you get home like past 10 because of the traffic.
Lagos
Those,
traffic.
yes, Lagos traffic, but not in Abuja, of course. But even Abuja working class persons need some of those things like food vendors. A lot of persons love ease. Me, I love anything that makes me at ease,
Okay.
anything that would remove stress from my
You're for the
life.
comfort.
Yes, and a lot of persons really are into that, especially working class persons. So if I consider the time I'll close from the office and then when I'm coming back, of course I would really need the services of a food vendor, of course, unless you make your food in bulk and then store for the week. I think the place of a food vendor cannot be overemphasized. So yes, your target audience is also a necessary requirement to look at. Okay, what are the persons around your environment? That is, if you want to cook for persons around your environment, what is the predominant thing they need? What kinds of food? Or are you in a particular environment that has a particular ethnic group, let's say Hausa, for example? Is it something that you would want to get into? Would you like to not just do the regular, you just focus on doing maybe Hausa meals, masa, and all of those things that you know that
I love
the
masa.
odd. I love it too. Anyway, with the sauce, I love it. Yeah, so you focus on the people around your environment also. So you look at finances and your target audience. These are the most important things to consider when starting a food business, an
Hmm.
online food.
Nice. As an entrepreneur,
Yes.
how do you make sure that you cut out wastage alone? The food business is peculiar and you can easily run into wastages. So how do you curb that? Make sure you don't run into a lot of wasting stops, and how do you maximize profit?
Okay.
What do you do essentially?
First of all, I would answer the second question first. Maximizing profit. One of the ways to maximize profits as a food vendor is to ensure that you get whatever you are getting in bulk.
Okay. Your
In bulk.
purchases.
Yes, you make your purchases, your ingredients, your food stuff, you get it in bulk. Especially for this economy right now, you can't even say, okay, I'm going to be getting my food stuff per order. No, if you do that, you are going to run a loss because you can get a mudu of rice today for 3,000, maybe to do like 10 packs of food for an order. And then tomorrow, you're going back to the market. Maybe this time you've invested your capital of like 3,000 for rice, and maybe let's say 5,000 for other ingredients and contingencies. That's like 8,000. And you make, let's say, a profit of 1,000 from that particular order. You're going back to the market now, and a mudu of rice is 3,500, and the 5,000 you used the last time to get other ingredients might not be enough because everything is on the rise. As a matter of fact, there's nothing that has really been on the rise that has dropped. It keeps
recently.
going higher, it keeps going higher. So buying your foodstuff in bulk would really help you to cut down first on unnecessary expense, and then to help you to maximize profits. Now, how to cut down on food wastages as an online food vendor?
Yes.
If you don't have a good method of preservation and food storage, I would advise that you do your food based on orders.
Okay.
You shouldn't do food in bulk like walk-in restaurants do. In fact, that's why I think that online food vending is actually the best way or method to start. Of course, you can have a long-term goal of having
A
or
walk-in.
owning a walk-in restaurant, but online food vending is a very good place to start, especially for somebody who does not have a lot of capital to start, so that you avoid wastages, and then you have high profits also. So if you ask me, I would say that in order to avoid wastages, you should do your foods based on order. Don't do it in bulk and store. Of course, except you have a good storage mechanism and preservation mechanism.
Right. As an online food person, how do you leverage technology? And how do you leverage? I mean, the COVID-19 opened our eyes up to a whole lot of things and what we are
Yes.
capable of doing online. How do you leverage technology to reach new customers and sustain the old ones?
All right. I like how you brought in the whole COVID-19
Era.
era, because prior to that time, a lot of persons didn't know what was possible
Possible.
when it comes to like technology and all. But I like that. I don't exactly like what happened in that period, but I like what it produced. That a lot of
The
persons
new
can now
normal.
stay
Some
at
my friend
home.
calls it the new
Of
normal.
course, the new normal. But right now, everything you need, you can actually get
Get
access to it
online.
online. So one of the first things to do in leveraging technology and then social media
Okay.
as a means of marketing, maintaining customers, attracting customers, is that you must have a healthy online presence as a business person, not just in the
Okay.
food business. Now, you can't come up online and make one post and then we don't see you again till like 3 months later. You don't have a healthy online presence. And so it's for me, I'm talking specifically for me. I will not patronize you if I don't see consistency. If I see your post today and I like what you sell, I'm likely to open your profile and see how recent your other posts have been. So if I see a post today and I open your profile and I'm seeing a post of 2018, I can't trust what you sell.
Okay.
So consistency over time is what builds trust in the online space. You must be consistent. You must be consistent. As a matter of fact, consistency is what helps you to reach a larger target audience. Because as you keep posting, as you keep posting, as you keep being there, and people are seeing you, then now, okay, now if I want to, let's say, order accessories, for example, I just know one place to go to because I have seen consistency. I'm
Consistency.
going online today in the morning and I'm seeing your post. I'm coming in the evening. I'm seeing you are just bombarding me. But in summary, what I want to actually say is just be in the faces of people, really.
Put it in your face.
Be
Okay,
in
we'll
their
take a
face.
short break and we'll be right back with this insightful, interesting discussion. Please stay with us. Welcome back. It is still Good Morning Abuja, and we're discussing food vending as a lucrative business. And I have with me here Benedicta Ungwamo Emmanuel. She's the chef. Maybe one day I'll get to taste. All right, let's talk about some of the disadvantages that can come with being an online food vendor and how you think it can be handled, especially with the problem of piracy, copying and pasting. You know, we don't even know the real source of the food you're showing us online. Are they really from your kitchen? You know, and so on and so forth. Tell me about some of these things.
Okay, so first of all, just
There's a
because,
lot of make believe out there.
yes, yes. And just because of how you framed your question, I'll just go straight to the point and hit on that. So you see, we have a lot of online food vendors. Abuja specifically, there are a lot.
Okay.
And then when we talk about Nigeria as a whole, there are a lot of food vendors. And I think one of the challenges that we face is a lot of lazy sorry to use the word, but I think it's really a level of laziness for a food vendor to not want to make an original copy of what they do. So one of the challenges we face is most times people want to put out something there, but they don't want to do what it requires to get that. So they look for pictures of food, photoshops. In fact, some people go as far as generating AI images. That is not
Wow.
authentic. It's not authentic. And one of the ways to curb this challenge is that I believe, okay, for some persons, let me make this excuse for some persons that they don't have access to gadgets that make their meals or whatever it is they do stand out or
Like
look
quality
excellent.
cameras.
Yes, quality cameras and all. I would advise, if I was given a chance to, that for such persons, you have a community of friends, you have a community of family members, and there is no way everybody in your community is at the same level as you are. There are persons that are higher, and there are persons that have this thing you are looking for. Draw close to them, have an arrangement, make an arrangement, something. Okay, I'm going to make this food today, I'm trying to make this order today, can you just come around, let's make some videos, take some pictures and all of that. You can do that. You can actually do that instead of stealing other people. Sorry for using that word, but actually it's
Fine, let me
theft.
say it is
It's
theft.
theft.
It
It's
is.
theft. So instead of doing that, you can actually work with people. As a matter of fact, in the business world, you can't thrive if you are not able to collaborate with people. And this is basic collaboration. You just work, partner with somebody. Okay, I'm going to be paying your transport. You can come over and do this, or maybe something, just whatever it is, just to make it work. We have a lot of persons that want to thrive but don't want to be diligent and put in the work. So that's the first challenge. And I think a second challenge is the competition. The competition, like I earlier stated, we have a lot of vendors, a lot. So one of the ways to curb this is have your own uniqueness,
Mm.
create your own uniqueness, and maintain quality. I think one of the ways to keep customers coming is that your quality is maintained. There's no drop in your standard, there's no drop in quality, and you have your own unique self. And another thing that happens with competition is branding. Another way to curb that and ensure that you have your customers coming to you is branding. You must create a brand for yourself. Don't just be random. Don't just be
Okay.
that random chef. You just do what you want to do and put it out there. Have a brand, create a brand. And that brand is what makes you stand out really. So when I'm talking about, let me say, pasta now, for example, a particular name always comes to mind. So with your brand, you have to stay consistent. Don't be a pasta chef today and then tomorrow you are making ogi. Sorry, ogi is pap. And we don't really know where you are. But if you stay
Mm.
on one thing and you stay on it consistently, it helps your brand name. So these are the two major challenges that
There's
we
a
face.
whole lot I'd love to talk about with you, but time. But then
Time.
again, every time I interact with a chef, could be an online chef or someone with a working space, I
Yeah.
always like to talk about the problem of making sure that quality and sanitation and is sustained, to minimize, if not totally eradicate, food poisoning, and making sure people are getting real good value for their money, same taste buds and everything. So how do you handle the issue of maintaining, sustaining quality and upgrading hygiene?
For you to maintain quality is to stick with your recipes, stay on it. Don't, of course, you can try to do some effigy and all, but stick with quality. And then for sanitary maintenance, for
Quickly,
me, okay, yeah,
time.
of course, of course. For sanitary maintenance, personally, what I do is as I cook, I clean
You
up
clean.
immediately. You don't, and that's another thing your BTS does for you. BTS means behind the scenes. When you make videos of what you do
Okay.
behind the scenes and then you put it out there, people are able to take note of your environment. They know, okay, this is where my food is coming from. Whatever I'm ordering from this person, this is the environment.
Guaranteed.
So that doing that is very necessary. Video the process, video the process. If possible, capture the entire workspace. Let people put it out there.
Put
You
it
might
on.
think you might think that it's not necessary, but people are seeing. People are saying, and I think one of the major perks for me for ordering food anywhere, of course, I hardly do, but when I want to, the major perk or my constraint is, oh, where is this food coming from? Is everybody like me? Would they maintain this level of sanitary?
Hygiene.
Yes. So yeah,
All
please do
right.
that. Do
Thank you
make
so
videos.
much. I'm going to call you back because I think there's a whole lot more to discuss with you.
There's
So
a
we'll have a
whole
part
lot.
two real soon. Thank you for coming on the show. Well, that size of it, food vending can actually be a very lucrative business. Why don't you go for it? Just in case you're thinking of one or two side hustles for the year 2025. Stay with us on Good Morning Abuja. Another short break, and we will be right back.